Yo, what's going on, man? It's Zupa, Curvy Joseph, man. Hey, you listening to the Honolulu Blues. You hear me?
Welcome back, everybody. Whoa, where is everybody? That's right, it's just me. Solo episode, baby. I don't think we've done one of these in quite some time, but Nick and Julius are out today. We are likely going to be teaming up tomorrow to give you guys a full quick breakdown of that awful Packers game and a rundown of this Bears game. But first, you guys are getting all me today. So in this episode, I'm going to be answering any comments, any questions. So feel free to drop comments, questions below, all that good stuff. To kick things off, let's just talk a little bit about this Packers game. It was brutal. It was one of the tougher games I've had to watch as a Lions fan in the last 3 years. It was not fun. We seemed so dysfunctional. We seemed like not the Lions. It felt like I was watching high school football, like a JV team playing a varsity team, where they just you knew right off the bat, oh, this might not go well. So I'm here to talk about it. It's kind of interesting doing a solo podcast, but anyone has any questions, drop them in the comments. Get to all those. Let's start out with the OC, the new guy in town, John Morton. The play calling was bland. It was brutal. There were no wide receivers getting open. We saw various aerial shots of Goff dropped back and just Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Laporte. Everybody was covered. So it wasn't really a Goff problem, because during the game there was myself and lots of fans saying, "Throw the ball, air it out, throw it." But the matter of the fact was, there wasn't anyone to throw it to. Everyone was covered up. And sure, maybe part of this is the Lions wide receivers and, tight ends weren't getting open, but I believe a big part of it was just poor play calling. You got to draw up plays that will get your guys open. You got to know what routes to scheme up for each individual player. If it's J-Mo going deep, if it's Laporta over the middle. Really, Laporta was kind of the only guy that looked decent on our offense. It was a brutal outing. Let's look at some of these stats in this game. The Lions pretty much lost this game 27-6 if it wasn't for probably the most insane first touchdown catch I've ever seen, maybe of all time in the NFL. Isaac TeSlaa, I don't even know how he did that. One-handed, just snagged it, and then boom, tapped that heel down. It made me smile. It was a good ending to a horrible game. And not really good ending, but at least it was hey, maybe we didn't, burn 2 third-round picks on a third wide receiver. Maybe this guy will be something special. So Jared Goff, 31 for 39. A lot of these passes were just little checkdowns, easy throws. We did not complete more than 2 passes over 20 yards. We had the 32-yard pass to Laporta. That was it. One awesome catch to Amon-Ra where he toe tapped on the outside. It actually was kind of toe drag on an outside route. But outside of that, it was check down to Gibbs, check down to Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs had 10 receptions for 31 yards. No player in NFL history has that little receiving yards off of 10-plus catches, which doesn't sound like a good stat. So the Lions definitely have a lot to work on. Luckily, the Bears come to town. We get Ben Johnson. I hope if you're going to the game, boo the hell out of this man. If you went to that Rams playoff game where we booed Stafford, and not his kids. It was loud. It was so loud. I want it to be 10 times louder for Ben Johnson. I hate Ben Johnson tenfold more than I do Matthew Stafford. And I really don't even hate Matthew Stafford. It was just, during that game I did. So during this Bears game, we got to cheer against Ben Johnson. And sure, you might be, thankful for everything he did, the Lions playoff wins. And if you really want this dude to, have a decent career, whatever. I'm not going to, yell at you for rooting for, Ben Johnson, even though he is the Bears head coach, which means his success is our demise. So it'd be kind of odd rooting for him. But nonetheless, I hope we just boo this man. I hope we make him feel uncomfortable. I hope he gets a taste of what it's like playing in Ford Field as a road team, because he saw it firsthand when other teams would come to town. He probably loved it. The defense just getting a boost from the crowd, everyone going crazy. Now it's going to be against him. And Ben Johnson in that Vikings game, he kind of showed some things. He showed us all that first drive was maybe a bit of a fluke, that Caleb Williams isn't this, savior that the Bears fans have perceived him to be. He still hasn't really taken a big leap. But all in all, the Bears, they had a 17-6 lead with a pick six, and they were controlling this game in the fourth quarter. J.J. McCarthy goes to work, makes easy throws. Now, J.J. looked all right. He didn't look phenomenal. The first half was terrible. Like, I totally thought this guy was going to be a flaming bust, terrible. But he kind of turned things around. He started to look a little better, calmed down a bit. And I don't think he's going to be an amazing quarterback, but we saw what Sam Darnold did last year. And that was 14 wins for the Minnesota Vikings. So if Kevin O'Connell can get that out of Sam Darnold, I mean, J.J. McCarthy, I'm sure can, do something similar. Maybe not this year, but maybe down the road. So the Bears then cut the lead to 27-24. They needed to somehow kick the ball without using clock. There was 2 seconds over the 2-minute mark, and the Vikings ended up running it out. Ben Johnson should have told his kicker, just knock that ball right off the tee, 1 yard. We'll take the penalty. They'll get the ball at the 40-yard line, but no clock will be run. So little things, or he could have even just said, kick it out of bounds. Little things like that kind of show me that Ben Johnson, it's different being a head coach than a coordinator under a great head coach. Let's dive back into this Packers game. Montgomery, 11 carries, 25 yards, 2.3 yards per carry. That was brutal. Jahmyr Gibbs, 9 carries, 19 yards, 2.1 yards per carry. This was Jahmyr Gibbs' worst game of his career, even counting the first couple he played as a rookie, splitting time with, David Montgomery. It was bad. We really couldn't get anything going for him. There were no run lanes. There were no open space. Yes, part of this was because of the departures of Frank Ragnow and Kevin Zeitler, but ultimately we need this offensive line to be better. And I think they will be. This Bears game serves as a great opportunity for not just the Lions to bounce back, but for the fans, because I saw a lot of fans, including myself a little bit, kind of writing off the Lions and worrying a lot about this season. Now, don't get me wrong. If we somehow lose this game against the Packers, all hell will break loose. You're going to see takes that will be unbearable. 97-1 in Valenti will be unbearable. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Lions are going to get the job done. I think they're going to pound the rock. I think Dave Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs will be set for a monster bounce-back game. Both running backs have done well against Chicago. Dave Montgomery averaging around 76 yards per carry, with Jahmyr Gibbs averaging around 86 yards per carry. Both of those guys, if they're back to peak form, if they can find some lanes, I think will be dominant. Now, I do also have an article coming out about Jahmyr Gibbs and this Lions game against the Bears on Roundtable Sports, so make sure you check that out. We have also various articles right now published on Roundtable Sports. Me and Nick are currently writing for them now, if you guys didn't see any of the updates on Twitter. But if you guys want more Honolulu Blues written content, Roundtable Sports, hit the Lions page, and you will see all of our work. We've got about probably close to 10 articles up published right now. All of them, great stuff. So go check that out. But it wasn't just the rushing game that was brutal. You can flip sides to, the Packers and their passing game. We saw Jordan Love just carve us up. That first drive, brutal. He just dinked and dunked, sliced and diced us, ending in a touchdown to Tucker Kraft, which also was a interesting one because we saw Aiden Hutchinson on a 3rd and 8 drop into pass coverage. I hope Kelvin Shepard learned from that and never does this again. Aiden Hutchinson is a pass rusher. Now, I know he's intercepted Justin Fields and has some interception against the Bears, but this dude is a pass rusher. And with the pass rush and defensive line we have right now, we need Hutchinson every snap rushing that quarterback, getting to the ball. We don't need him dropping back in coverage. I would much rather see our linebackers get burned on that than Aiden Hutchinson sitting in no man's land leading to a 15-yard touchdown pass to Tucker Kraft. So Kelvin Shepard, he's got some things to work on as well. Same thing with John Morton. Just the play calls on both ends were just very suspect. It seemed like, both coordinators were kind of thrown to the wolves, and it was odd seeing this Lions just powerhouse team full of talent top to bottom look so terrible. And now, yes, we did get in the red zone and have some good drives, but we didn't finish them off. That's what we have to do if we want to beat Chicago. I want to see no more than 2 field goals in this game. I want every drive that gets into the red zone finished off with a touchdown. We saw Goff, his only touchdown pass came in the last 20 seconds to Tesla. So not the greatest. He had an interception in the red zone, which was kind of forced by Micah Parsons. Penei Sewell had a 54.6 PFF grade, probably one of his worst games as a starter for the Detroit Lions. I hope he takes this personal. I hope he just dominates Montez Sweat and the Chicago Bears defensive line. We need the foundational pieces to be foundational pieces. We can't have Aiden Hutchinson flopping in games like that. We can't have Goff, Gibbs, Amon-Ra. I guess Amon-Ra had a solid game, but we can't have more than 1 to 2 stars on our team flopping, against their opponents. So it just kind of comes down to playmakers. You need to make plays, and we know who. Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery, Laporta, I will exclude him because he played solid. Amon-Ra, J-Mo. J-Mo didn't have any, we didn't see him go deep really. Had just 5 targets coming off a massive contract extension. I would like to see some shots deep, even if, it's a one-on-one covered. J-Mo is fast enough to get over top. We just got to give Goff the time and just let him rip it. And maybe that's not the case. Maybe we do want to go back to this run, grounded pound, hand the ball off to Montgomery and Gibbs, because I believe that could work against this Bears team. We saw Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones, have decent outings. Mason had 15 carries for 88 yards against the Bears. Not 88, 68. 15 carries, 68 yards, still 4.5 yards per carry. Jones, not the greatest, 8 carries, 23 yards, only 2.9. But he is getting up in age, and Jordan Mason seems like he's the younger, back ready to take over. I want to see that Monty and Gibbs, Sonic and Knuckles come out with full force. I want these guys to be, dominating. I want the Bears to feel like hope is gone by the second half. And I want in that second half to just take long drives. I know the defense and the play calls might be shaky, but how do you counter that? You just make a long quality drive with your playmakers. Goff, make good throws. He didn't really have any opportunities to try to, make a good throw. He had the nice one to, Laporta and Amon-Ra, but outside of that, it was just a game full of checkdowns. So the Lions, I do believe, are going to fully bounce back. The point spread right now is 5.5 points. If I was a betting man, I would be hammering Jahmyr Gibbs over, and honestly, probably David Montgomery's over as well. I think we're going to see at least 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. If it's 2 to Montgomery, 2 to Gibbs, 1 to each, this run game it's going to explode. They're just too talented a team to, not get the run game going. And now I know we're missing Ragnow and Zeitler, but Tate Ratledge has to learn at some point. He was a second-round pick. Graham Glasgow, he also kind of played very bad, was the worst graded line per PFF with a 43 grade, which is below bad. So Graham Glasgow, I don't know what he needs to do. I think he needs to turn back the clock and just, be that playmaker he was before, like in the first half of last season, before he kind of lost his job to Christian Mahogany, who also didn't really have the best game. Now, luckily, the Bears, they don't have the best team. Caleb Williams looked great that first drive, but outside of that, he didn't look good. We saw Caleb go 21 for 35 with a QBR of 63.8, not the best. Passer rating of 86.6, not the best. He overthrew the DJ Moore pass late in the game, which would have been an easy touchdown had he made that. So we just need to capitalize off of Bears' mistakes and, missed opportunities, and then capitalize off of just a poor run defense and I guess, poor defense itself. Because if J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings can drop 27 on the Bears on the road while trailing, Jared Goff and this Lions offense should be able to drop 35. We saw them drop 52, I think 49 against the Cowboys. The Cowboys, Titans, and Jaguars were all just insanely big blowouts. Now, I'm not saying the Bears are that bad, but things could get ugly quick for them. I want the Lions to step on their throats and just not look back. So that's kind of all I got for this episode, guys. Like I said, we will be back tomorrow. I also do think we're going to start doing some more spaces. I tried one out during halftime of the Lions game. It went pretty well, other than the one fan begging for us to fire Kelvin Shepard and John Morton after week 1, which kind of crazy, but join the spaces. If you see the spaces and if you do want us to run some more spaces, let us know. Throw it in the comments. It doesn't have to be, in this chat. It can be under any comments, and that includes any type of feedback. We just want to be better for the fans. We want to give you guys the best Honolulu Blues product we can possibly give you. And if you do want to see more of us, read more of us, check us out at Roundtable Sports. It's a new company, startup. Me and Nick are writing for them, so a lot of good articles over there. Make sure you check that out. Shout out to everyone joining in on this, even if it was just for a second or two. But boys and girls, we'll be back tomorrow. Me, Nick, and Julius. Hopefully, it's always tough with Julius, being over in Germany and kind of us three having to coordinate. That is one of the big reasons why we've been a bit inconsistent with the podcast. But I really am going to start trying to do at least 2 a week. If it's me solo, if it's the 3 of us, the 2 of us, 2 or the 3 of us, we're going to get two shows out and plenty of articles for you guys to get all your Honolulu Blues needs, because we're a podcast for the fans, by fans. And that's exactly what we want to give you guys. So make sure you check us out, Honolulu Blues on Twitter. Give us a like, subscribe on YouTube if you're watching there. All that stuff is good. And I want to emphasize Roundtable Sports. It's where me and Nick are writing now. We have a lot of great articles up there. Check us out. Even 1 click, 1 view helps us out. Like I said, I'll be publishing a Jahmyr Gibbs article and kind of bounce back article. Honestly, probably within the next half hour, I would say it'll be up by 6:30 Eastern time. So make sure you guys check that out. And as always, go